This is the AKG Lyra. This is how big it is. It's as big as my head. This is a unique position for this mic, as the styling and aesthetics kind of take it out of running for Gaming Mic of the Year. That said, the AKG website has this thing listed for podcasting, YouTube, music, and gaming. From the YouTube or gaming perspective, it does all kind of come down to aesthetics. So if this is your style of mic, give her. As for podcasting or music, well, we're going to look at that. Now, to start, I will say a microphone company marketing a microphone with a picture like this does give me reason to pause. And yeah, we're going to see how well it performs at that distance. All right, then, let's look at build quality. Once again, it be big, and it is rather weighty. The official weight is listed at just over 2 pounds. Most of that is in the actual base, though. It's not in the actual microphone. So if you have it on an arm, you don't have to worry. The stand is all aluminum, though the microphone body is mostly plastic. That said, it doesn't feel super cheap. The grill is a bit spongy, and I wouldn't put too much weight on it. Now, as I mentioned, the microphone does come off the stand, though this leads me to my first complaint. The way the mic detaches is a massive pain in the butt. The room you have to get a tool in there is non-existent, and I ended up having to use a trusty Canadian loonie to do it. Now, if you're American or just flat out non-Canadian, you can still do this. A quarter should work fine, but I do have to say, the loonie was a perfect fit, you know? Oh, you betcha. Now, something like this isn't a deal breaker, but it really is a head scratcher. I'm not exactly sure how this made it out of the design phase. This thing does have a lot of features, so let's get started. It's a multi-sound field condenser microphone with options in stereo and mono, with a total of 4 capsules to capture your sound. It has cardioid or omnidirectional polar patterns. It's 20 Hz to 20 kHz, has a sample rate of 192 kHz, and a bit depth of 24. That's about it, though. So let's break down the things you can do with those features. Okay, so for the off-axis rejection, we're going to mix it up with the patterns. This is me speaking directly into the AKG Lyra from about 5 inches away in the cardioid polar pattern. This is me speaking about 5 inches away from the side of the microphone in the cardioid polar pattern. And this is me speaking directly into the rear of the microphone in the cardioid polar pattern. Now we're in the omnidirectional polar pattern for the AKG Lyra. This is me speaking about 6 inches off the front of the microphone. And if you notice, as I move around the microphone, nothing really drops off. This is truly omnidirectional. All 4 of those capsules are capturing me as I move around the microphone, and you can truly hear that this thing would pick up everything around it. Now, we're in tight stereo, meaning it's going to be a stereo pattern from the front. And you'll notice as I go from right to left, you're going to notice I move between your ears. I am recording in stereo this time. I actually got that. And this is picking up a stereo sound. And you're going to notice this when I do the guitar tests, what it sounds like. It's pretty cool. And now we're in wide stereo. This is basically 2 stereo in the front, left, right, and 2 stereo in the back, left, right. So if you notice as I move around the microphone, you're going to notice that I'm panning to one side or the other. Now, this is kind of a cool feature for this microphone, because let's say you put 4 instruments on this on either corner, you would literally have a stereo image of 2 guitars on one side, 2 guitars on another. That's pretty cool. I don't know when you would use that or how you'd use that, but that I kind of like it. So you have a different capsule for each corner of the microphone, both in stereo. Now let's do a mute button test of the AKG Lyra. This is me speaking directly into the microphone, and I'm about to hit the mute button. And this is the sound of it being turned on and off. Now for the plosive rejection test of the AKG Lyra. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now for a proximity effect test of the AKG Lyra. Here I'm speaking about 5 inches off the front of the microphone. Now I'm speaking about 1 inch off the front of the microphone. 5 inches, 1 inch. Now we're doing the tabletop test with the AKG Lyra. This is how I sound about, I would say 12 inches away. Now, if you recall back in the beginning of the video, we had that picture of the microphone quite a ways away from the subject. I was a little doubtful at how good that would sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this microphone, we're going to put this about 2 feet away And we're going to gain up a bit because when you're a little bit further away, you do need a little bit of extra gain. So we're going to turn this up. There we go. And now you have the AKG Lyra from about 2 feet away. What do you think of the sound? Let me know down below.
It's really cold downstairs in Aiden's studio. It's freezing. And my eye, I got hot sauce in it. So I'm not in fact high. It's just hot sauce in the eye. The mic looks very mic-ish. Kind of looks like you're on a radio station or maybe some weird robot you made when you were in 5th grade. It's the AKG Lyra. So if you like a robot-like mic, like the AKG Lyra, say that 10 times fast. It's the mic for you. If you don't like robots, maybe you don't want to invest.
Okay then, let's start with the cons. I hate the mount on this bass. Let's get that out of the way now. That said, if you're planning on buying this, it's doubtful you're going to be moving it back and forth between a boom and a stand, so it's kind of a momentary inconvenience. Other than that though, not much of a fan of the build. This thing won't be taking too much damage before it's out of commission. And to add to that, the plosives, well, they're pretty brutal. So either keep your distance, which never sounds great, or be careful with your mic technique. Now let's talk about what I didn't like about the sound. I love the cardioid pattern on my voice. It sounds nice and warm. On the guitar though, it sounds like flat garbage. On the other side of that coin, the stereo options did not sound great on my voice, and I would struggle with anyone else's voice as well. But it is kind of the tale of two microphones here. In cardioid mode, don't get too close to the microphone or you're going to hate the proximity effect. Very loose bass from that. But in stereo, you almost need that closeness if you're going to be using this on your voice. Otherwise, it just sounds thin. Now, looking at the pros, the mic is super versatile for several different recording scenarios. And once again, I do love the cardioid on this microphone on voice. And I love the stereo options on acoustic, just lovely wide fields of sound. It was fantastic. Now, if you want to record in true stereo, this is a great option. Which leads us into our final thoughts. So yes, I get it. I'm not doing any mic comparisons. I'm sure someone's going to call me out for that. This thing does kind of stand on its own with the stereo features on it. And once again, I love the sound. I think this is the best sounding USB mic I've ever had in front of me, and that includes the Shure MV7. Only on cardioid though. I do love the utility of this microphone though. Now, I generally scoff at the idea of a USB mic that is meant for music. But that said, this thing has great sound throughout all the frequencies in that stereo mode. So realistically, this thing does fulfill the promise of the value proposition earlier. And honestly, it does get a big old thumbs up for me if you're looking for a great USB mic with great sound. This is your beast. Maybe just don't use it the way they used it in the pictures. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, maybe try out this one. And I'll see you in the next video.